All right, so Mr. Bruggeman, start with the first one. I have Aaron Barron. Stephen Walt. I have a couple devices with no names. So let's see what I got. All right, I have a gentleman wearing a black t-shirt with a beard. What is your name, please?
Mr. Wilt, Stephen Wilt.
All right, was a good guess on my part. All right, this is in the matter of Aaron Elizabeth Barron versus Stephen Keith Wilt, file number 22-50194 DP, and Mark A. Bruggeman, P66065, appearing on behalf of the prosecutor's office in front of the court. This is the date and time scheduled for motion of entry of order on a judgment of support. Ms. Barron, did you receive a copy of the proposed judgment of support? All right, Ms. Barron, did you? Yes? Wait. Oh, I don't. She's not connected. No, I don't. Sorry. Hold on. Let me pull her out. All right, we send a chat message to Ms. Barron to connect to audio. Ms. McVeigh, can I ask what hearing you're on today?
Okay, I got it.
I am here on the Radley Wade versus Amanda Strand.
Okay, got it. Thanks. All right, so this is in the matter of Aaron Elizabeth Barron versus Stephen Keith Wilt. Ms. Barron, this is the date and time scheduled for entry of judgment. Did you receive a copy of the proposed judgment of support?
Yeah.
Yes, okay, and in that order, it grants you sole physical custody and the parties joint legal custody and parenting time at all times agreeable. So do you object to any of the terms of this proposed judgment?
No, I do not.
All right, Mr. Wilt, you received a copy of the proposed judgment of support?
Yes.
All right, and then it has a number for child support. It also grants sole physical custody to Ms. Barron, joint legal custody, and parenting time at all times agreeable. It does not have a set parenting time schedule. Do you object to any of those terms and want a hearing on them?
I object to the child support due to the how much it's taking out.
Okay, do you feel the numbers are incorrect or you just feel that it's too much money?
Numbers are incorrect from what I've received, and it's also too much money.
Okay, well, what I can do is mark the box that says at the time of entry of judgment, the defendant has disputed the child support amount. So I'll mark that box. What'll happen is that a front of the court hearing will be scheduled and you will receive notice of that in the mail. There via Zoom. Sir, are you still in Middleburg Heights in Ohio?
Parma Heights.
Okay, so you're not.
It's still the same. It's still the same address. I don't. You guys just have it as Middleburg Heights. I don't know why it's that way.
So it should be Parma Heights.
Yes, ma'am.
Is the zip code correct though?
The zip code is correct. Yes, everything else is correct. It just says Middleburg. I don't know why.
Were you getting your mail?
Yes. Yeah, I received the mail because there's only one street with my address in Cleveland area.
Okay. All right. So you will receive in the mail, Mr. Bruggeman will have the staff update that address, but you will receive in the mail a notice of hearing for a front of the court referee hearing. In advance, you will need, it'll give you directions. You're going to need to provide your financial information to the front of the court, and then they will recalculate child support. If again, you don't agree with that number because you think the numbers are wrong, you can object and it'll come in front of this court. Okay.
Okay.
All All right, so I'm going to sign the judgment. I will not sign the order for support. Understand, sir, child support is ticking, so I would advise you, it's probably in your best interest to put that money away every week until it gets entered, because if it's not being taken out of your paycheck, because you don't want to start out with a big lump sum, right?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, so very good. All right, I wish you both the best of luck. Mr. Bruggeman, anything else you wish to add?
No, Your Honor.
Okay, all right, so just keep an eye out for that. Thank you both.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Carl and Andrea, got both of them. We can both disconnect. There we go. All right, Miss Edwards, can you hear me?
Yes.
All right, Kyle Meadows, can you hear me? No, he's not connected. Hold on. All right, Mr. Meadows, can you hear me now?
Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am.
All right, this is in the matter of, is it Andrea or Andrea, Miss Meadows or Miss Edwards?
Andrea.
All right, this is in the matter of Andrea Marie Edwards versus Kyle Daniel Jack Meadows, file number 2023-50425DS and 2023-05424DP. I have Mark A. Bruggeman, P66065, appearing on behalf of the Lenawee County Prosecutor's Office, as well as the front of the court. And I have Angela J. Borders, P74471, appearing on behalf of the plaintiff. This is the date and time scheduled for entry of a judgment of support. Ms. Borders, you and your client received a copy of the proposed judgment.
We did.
Ms. Borders, is your client objecting to either the custody or the child support amount or parenting time?
My client would be objecting to the entry of any order that grants Mr. Meadows parenting time at this time. There is a current order of ex parte order that was signed by this court on March 16th, 2023 that was not objected to within 14 days. At that time, based on the reasons in the motion that was contained, this court entered an order suspending his parenting time. And therefore that order, I'm asking that order stay in place. It was filed.
So you're objecting? I would just leave it at object. Okay,
Sorry.
hold on. Just hold on a minute. Let's see. Verified motion, ex parte order. There we go. All right, there is an ex parte order, Mr. Bruggeman, signed March 16th of 2023. That until paternity is established and the court orders otherwise, the defendant shall not have parenting time with Amelia Edwards. Ms. Borders?
Correct.
Okay, well, now we've established paternity, right?
Well, Your Honor, I believe but there has been no motion on behalf of Mr. Meadows objecting to the entry of the ex parte order.
Well, once paternity is established, this ex parte.
There's two children, Your Honor. One was Aurora and one is Amelia. At the time I filed the motion, or I filed a verified motion to suspend parenting time for both children. At that time is when I learned that the state had filed this action. I then followed through with the state on this action so that I can file. I have filed also an action for custody that I could not have heard until the state established paternity for Amelia. So
Okay, so I do have in the judgment support, Mr. Bruggeman's document states that Andrea Edwards is the mother of, and Kyle Daniel Jack Meadows is the father of Aurora Moon Meadows. And on 4/25/23, he acknowledged paternity of Amelia Marie Meadows. So, okay, so at this point, we do have that. And then you have your verified motion to establish custody, parenting time and support. And she's asking for primary physical custody. And what is the legal custody she's requesting?
Well,
And that both parties have legal custody,
correct.
which is what this friend of the court order states.
But for the fact that it grants him 52 overnights, Your Honor, and that would be my contention at this time, only until the matter can be heard on custody. As he had no parenting time order
Custody.
prior to this.
Your Honor, it doesn't grant 52 overnights. That's just the
It
thing.
doesn't
we use.
grant,
No, that's what
Yeah.
we use.
So,
That's what we use to
hold on,
calculate.
everybody, stop. So parenting time is at all times agreeable, Ms. Borders, in the judgment.
I'm sorry, I was looking at those uniform support order that had it calculated for 52, and if that's just for calculation purposes, I'm okay with it.
Yes, okay, Mr. Brugman, can I, all right, so, over to you, Mr. Meadows. Did you receive a copy of the motion of judgment of support?
Yes, I did, and I have several questions about it.
Okay, so I'm gonna go through it. One, it calculates child support. One, it gives the plaintiff primary physical custody. And then it gives you joint legal custody and then parenting time at all times agreeable. Do you object to any of those terms?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, which ones do you object to?
For having sole parenting custody, I would like to be in my children's life. I would like to be a father to my children, and she is
Okay,
able-
you gotta clarify that. So it grants your primary physical custody. Are you objecting to the primary physical custody?
Yes,
Okay, so I'm gonna mark the box that defendant has disputed custody and parenting time. And then in turn, that will mean that you're disputing child support. So I have marked those boxes, and what'll happen at this point is that this will be scheduled for a referee hearing, and Ms. Borders is obviously representing Ms. Edwards and will be present for that hearing. And Mr. Meadows, if you retain counsel, you'll need to have them present. Friend of the court will mail that hearing date out and those issues will be heard. Now, Mr. Meadows, child support has been calculated. What I will tell you is it may take 6 weeks to get a friend of the court hearing. In that time period, if they're not taking child support out of your paycheck, you need to be putting that money aside because you don't want to start out with a big lump sum owed. Do you understand?
absolutely, Your Honor.
Okay, so Ms. Borders and Mr. Meadows, you will receive a notice of hearing from friend of the court for a referee hearing that will be held via Zoom. Any questions?
No, Your Honor.
No,
Mr. Brugman, any additions?
Oh, Your Honor, thank you.
All right, very good. I'm gonna date and sign this and all right, I wish you both best of luck. Thank you.
Your Honor.
All right, let's move on to. let's see. I think I have Brooke and Jonathan Pauling. Brooke Delvin. All right, I have someone who's logged on with the screen name of Brooke. Are you Brooke Galvin?
Yes. Can you hear me?
Okay, yep, I can hear you, and I have somebody who's logged on with John's iPhone. Would you by any chance be Jonathan Paulding?
Yeah, that's John.
Okay, very good. All right, this is in the matter of Brooke Gelman versus Jonathan Paulding, file number 2023-50648DS. I have Mark A. Bruggeman appearing on behalf of Illinois County Prosecutor's Office in the front of the court, P66065. This is the date and time. I think it's file number 23-50648DS. This is the date and time set for hearing on a proposed judgment of support. So, Ms. Gelvin, did you receive a copy of the proposed judgment of support?
Yes.
And were you able to review it?
Yes.
All right, do you understand all the terms in the proposed judgment?
Yes.
All right, do you object to any of the terms such as legal custody, physical custody, parenting time, and support?
Can you repeat that?
Do you have any objections to any of the terms in this judgment?
Mm.
What?
Objections to which specific one?
Okay, so there's a term granting you sole physical custody. It grants, let's see, it grants parenting time at all times agreeable. And it, let me see here, custody, parenting time, sole physical. So it grants you sole physical custody, joint legal custody with Mr. Paulding, parenting time at all times agreeable. And then there's a child support amount, and it is $127 a month. Do you object to any of those terms?
Yes.
Okay, which one?
Probably the parenting time. Just because we
Okay.
had an agreed situation with what we wanted to do.
What is it you've agreed upon?
We both agreed to do week on, week off with each other.
Okay. Mr. Bruggeman?
Your Honor, I think to have something set, my recommendation would be to go to the front of the court and have that set is an agreement. And they can go from there. Because that would also adjust the child support amount.
Okay. So what we're gonna have to do it, Mr. Paulding, do you agree with her statement?
Yes, I agree.
Okay, so what we're gonna do is I'm gonna mark a box on here that says both of you object to custody and parenting time and support. So what'll happen is you can do one of two things. You can contact your caseworker for friend of the court, but you're gonna get in the mail a notice to appear for a referee hearing via Zoom, okay? And when you go to that hearing, Mr. Paulding, you guys can put on the record that you have this agreement for week on, week off, and that they will recalculate child support and then put that into an order, and you guys can agree to it on the record, okay?
Okay.
All right, so it's really important, if you move, you need to contact friend of the court or stop by and give them your updated address. If you don't get a notice for that hearing in the next 3 weeks, you need to come up to the courthouse and just make sure that they got your right address, all right? It's really
Okay.
important that you go to that hearing, okay?
Yes.
All right, so we're all set today. You'll get a notice of hearing in the mail from the friend of the court, okay?
Okay.
All right, thank you both.
You have a
Thank
great.
you.
Thank you. All right, Ms. McGrain, would it be possible to tell the jail that I do my pickups? All right, so who else do we have? All right, in the matter of Anna Cabbies, Kabbes versus William James Dune. Neither of which are in my waiting room. I also have an attorney. I don't know who that is. Let me bring them in. Ms. Thompson, what case are you coming in on? Oh, McKean versus Jordan.
Yes,
All right. Do you and Ms. Borders need a breakout room?
no.
Okay. All right. File number 23-50567 DP. Neither Ms. Cabbies nor Mr. Dune have appeared. I have a summons. I do not have, yes, I do. I have a certificate of service showing that on June 15th of 23, Mr. William Dune was served with the paperwork and notice to appear today. So Mr. Brugman is appearing on behalf of the prosecutor's office in the front of the court, P66065. Mr. Brugman?
Your Honor, this is the date and time set for Mr. Dune's paternity arraignment. As you indicated, we do have good proof of service and it's in the file, and he was notified of today's hearing. Based on his failure to appear, we move to enter a default judgment finding him as the father. Also, for the record, there is a second case with the same parties with a second child. That is a DS case where paternity is already established. Once we establish paternity by way of this default, these two cases will be combined.
All right, very good. Thank you. And I will sign that on for presentation. All right, so now we have Jennifer Marie Grubbs versus Braxton Russell Garza, file number 23-50608. Neither party is present in my waiting room. I have Mark A. Brugman, P66065, appearing on behalf of the prosecutor's office in the front of the court. We do have valid service showing that copy of the proposed judgment was mailed to each party by first class mail on June 26th. That's well over a couple weeks ago. They live locally in the county. He was served paperwork on this file on May 16th at 2:45 p.m. So both parties had notice of today's hearing and both parties have failed to appear. So, Mr. Brugman?
Your Honor, as you indicated, this is the date and time set for our motion for entry of the order. You also correctly indicated that we do have good proof of service on the file and neither party has appeared. Today's hearing was scheduled for 8:15, is now 8:45. We ask that based on their failure to appear, that our order be entered as presented.
All right, very good. I have signed the proposed judgment and order for support. Thank you. All right, let's see. And I think that leaves us with McKean. All right, in the matter of Jasmine Michelle Carver versus Carrie Alexander McQueen. Carrie, maybe I got that person. Got me confused, Ms. Borders. I got McKean and McQueen, but all right. Carrie McQueen, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, good. Is your first name Carrie?
Correct.
Correct. I'm sorry. Let me write that down. Got it. All right. So this is in the matter of Jasmine Michelle Carver versus Carrie Alexander McQueen, file number 23-50743 DP. Sir, this is the time set for an arraignment on paternity. Mr. Brugman, I'm assuming since he's here, there's a proof of service making it to me. I just don't have it on the file yet. So it'll get over here. But Mr. McQueen, you were served with a copy of the petition. Is that correct?
Correct.
All right. And in that paternity complaint, it alleges that you are the biological father of the minor child, Isabel. Mr. McQueen, you have the opportunity today to do a couple things. You can acknowledge paternity and claim the child as your own, or you can request that a paternity test be done Either way is fine, whatever you would like. How would you like to proceed?
I'm kind of undecided, honestly. Like, I've talked with Jasmine prior to all of this about us signing the affidavit of parentage, and she was resistant up until literally right before she filed the paperwork, which was, at the middle of
So,
last month.
Mr. McQueen, let me interrupt you and just give you a little advice. If you don't have a paternity test now and a certain period of time passes, it's really hard to ever go back. So if you have even the slightest concern, it is far better to have the test done and know for sure than to come back years later and question it. So if you want a paternity test, it's absolutely appropriate. So would you like a paternity test?
Yeah, we'll do it.
Okay, so that's fine. Mr. Brugman?
Your Honor, thank you for that. And also thank you for Mr. McQueen indicating on the record he'd like testing. At this point, we will prepare an order for you to sign that orders genetic testing be performed.
Okay. So Mr. McQueen, I'll sign the order. Mr. Brugman's office will be in contact with you. On your paperwork, you have the office phone number. You can call them as well. They'll set up a date and time for you to come and have a paternity test done. Obviously, it's a swab in your mouth, it's painless, and then they'll set this for further date after the results are received, okay?
Okay, thank you.
All right, thank you, Mr. McQueen. You have a good day.
You too.
Thank you. Okay, I believe, Mr. Bregman, that does conclude our paternity docket. You have a good day.
Thank you. Unless you have any pickups you'd like me to hang around for.
I do, but I don't know that I'll need you